I'm going to give you 3 pieces of career advice for anybody from the ages of 10 years old to 100. But I'm specifically talking to those folks that are in their 50s and 60s. There's 3 things that you need to always remember. And this advice is broadly from economics and the sociology literature. The first thing is you're likely not the only one. If you're experiencing this right now and you're watching this for whatever reason, and you're afraid or you think that you're the one person that's going through this, you're not. There's many other people just like you going through the same experiences, and you simply just have to get people to talk. Once you get people to talk, you'll realize we're all human in many aspects, and we're all just as screwed up in many, many aspects. And no amount of shoulds or coulds that people have told you of where you should be at this moment is going to solve that. We're essentially all the same people. We all have many of the same weaknesses, so-called weaknesses. I don't like to call them weaknesses. I like to call them traits. I think that term is not necessarily a term that I want to use in my life. We all have different traits in how we fit in. Now, the second thing that's incredibly important, and by the way, if you don't know me, I'm Professor Dave Maslach. I'm an associate professor of strategy. The second thing that's very important is that the only way that you can make things happen is to actually make things happen. Let me explain this. The single most important finding that we know in the social sciences, I think is the single most important thing. The more times that you do something, the better off you get at it. It goes way back to this guy, Adam Smith, in economics 200-300 years ago. But the basic story is the more that you do this, the more that you continue to repeatedly do this particular thing, the better off that you actually get. And so if you are feeling stuck, you're feeling not necessarily that great, I want you to apply and look as broadly as you possibly can, in as many ways as you possibly can, and find as many interests as you possibly can. Keep yourself busy so that you never feel like that. Get busy. Find things. If you are stuck for a job right now and you're in between jobs, see if you can make a game and apply to 20, 30 different jobs every single day. And do that until something actually happens. There's something magical about just sheer numbers of things. It's the only thing that I know that actually works. I can't fix who I am. I can't fix how I look. I can't fix where I currently live. I can't fix any of those things. But what I can do is get back up and do it again, repeatedly, as many times as I possibly can. If you look on the internet right now for this reciprocity project, by the way, I'm trying to build a software platform, and I didn't know how to do it. And if you look, you're going to find at least 5,000 videos on YouTube alone, because I don't know how to do this very well, but I know how to repeat. I know how to do this as many possible times as I can until it becomes better or something else happens. That's the only answer that I actually have. Now, the third thing that is incredibly important, this is going to be the hardest thing to work on, and that's why repetition is so incredibly important. And this comes from sociology. You are going to feel weird whenever you do this. You're going to feel like an outsider. Nobody's going to believe you. You are going to feel like an outcast. You are going to feel strange. So if you pick something that you really want to do, juggling, I don't know, whatever it is, and people think it's funny and goofy, then pursue that particular thing. Everything that you do, you might be in a very blue-collar town. I grew up in a very blue-collar town with like 7,000 people that live there. It was part of a pulp and paper mill. And for me to leave my town to go away to school felt weird. I felt isolated. I felt all of those things that you're kind of the weirdo of the bunch. And I want you to think about that in your life, whether it's going and getting an education at this moment and you're 50 years old and you have to tell your kids that are currently in college, and you have to say, yeah, I want to go back and get a college degree just like you. All of those things are weird, or they feel weird. They're not necessarily that weird if you start looking at the numbers. There's lots of people that do these things, but they're going to feel weird, and your friends are going to look at you weird, and your spouse is going to look at you weird, and your kids are going to look at you weird, but you have to stand up and do it anyways. It's like everything in life. As soon as you start not doing what everybody else is doing in your situation, it feels weird, or it feels shameful, or it feels guilty, or any number of those negative emotions that are going to come up and boil up. And man, you're going to have some hard conversations when you do that, but you need to know that that's how you do it. You just get up and you do it. And how do you get over this weird feeling or the negative feelings that you're going to feel? Getting your life together, your financial life together, your career life together, any of those things, going back to work, getting a different job. How do you get over that? Repetition. It's the only thing that I know that actually works, is just repeating. And then as you're doing it, working on trying not to feel weird. And this is what people call is owning your truth or owning your identity. Become known for who that thing is, that strange, weird thing is. And the only thing that you can get over that, you can start feeling not so shameful about it or weird or as an outsider, is just through sheer repetition. And the more you repeat, the better it feels. It never goes away. That's the thing that you have to remember. That weird feeling of feeling like an outcast or an outsider, that is never going to go away. But it does get a little better because you learn how to own it. You learn how to deal with that particular part of yourself. So if you look at those particular 3 things and you watch this video over again and you repeat it and you think about it, I think you'll make a little bit of progress. I think once you realize that you're not alone, there's lots of people in your situation. In fact, you can leave comments for other people. Let them know that they're not alone. If you repeat a lot, I mean thousands of times of repetition, if you repeat a lot and you know that you're going to feel weird and you're going to feel strange whenever you do this, you could do a lot of things in your life. You can go and build an empire at this moment when you're 50 or 60. Lots of people have done it. It's not new. We've seen that story before. You can go and start a completely different career. You can go and move to a different country. All of those things are going to be weird and you're going to feel isolated. All of those things. You can get a new job. You can go back to school. All of those things are going to feel weird. But the more that you do it, the more you repeat, the more you realize that you're not the only one that's doing this, the better off that you're going to feel inside. All right, take care. And by the way, if you haven't done so, I'm trying to build a reciprocity platform. I could really use your support. Please do go on into it. Actually log into the platform. The front page is terrible. We got to work on it and we'll get there. But it's one step at a time. Repetition. And that's what we're doing. All right, take care and have a wonderful day. Bye.